What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I will be reviewing Monster Hunter. So Monster Hunter was directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. Yeah, that should tell you everything you need to know right there. And of course, because of that, it stars Milla Jovovich, and it tells the story of this squad of soldiers who are out in the middle of the desert on a mission. You don't really know what their mission is, but they're out there on a mission, and then this freak storm forms and they are transported to another world that is overtaken by monsters that live under the ground within chasms and catacombs of mountains and valleys. And we have well, we have another video game movie, I'll put it that way. Yes, this film is based off the popular Monster Hunter game series, but I do want you to know I have not played any of those games, although after watching the movie, I kind of want to play the games because I've heard great things about Monster Hunter as a franchise, and we'll get into this in a second. This movie didn't necessarily back up the statements of this franchise being great. So now I want to play the games because I want to see good Monster Hunter content. Now don't get me wrong, this movie was exactly what I expected it to be. Don't think that I went into this movie expecting a great, amazing, life-changing monster movie. That's not what I expected. All I wanted was Milla Jovovich being awesome as she always is. I wanted some, realistic enough looking monsters and riveting action sequences. That's all I wanted. I just wanted a fun, mindless brain candy experience. And that's exactly what we got, honestly. See, this is kind of a hard movie to review because if I wanted to be like a movie critic, like if I'm approaching this from the viewpoint of a movie critic, very much in what most people think of that term as, technically this film is pretty terrible, like from the movie critic perspective. Because movie critics, it's like, and by movie critic, I don't mean like, anyone who reviews movies. I mean that the stereotypical movie critic. Those people seem to go into every movie, no matter what the genre or what it's about, expecting some amazing or like wanting some amazing, extremely deep and gritty character driven drama. For some reason they go into every movie expecting that. And it benefits you when you don't go into Monster Hunter expecting that. Why would you go into Monster Hunter wanting that? If this film had really deep characters that propelled the plot along and made me care about them when, they were in these life-endangering situations, I would have loved that, but that doesn't mean that I didn't, love certain aspects of what we actually got. This is definitely going to go down as a guilty pleasure for me. I'm aware that as a film, this movie's pretty bad, but, like, when it comes to pure entertainment value and escapism and just mindless brain candy, this movie is pretty great in that sense. To make everything very clear, the characters are cardboard cutouts. There's not really anything interesting about them except one character. There is one character in the film that you actually do get quite a bit of his backstory, and I thought that was by far the part of the movie that I actually latched onto. But unfortunately, the main character that you follow from the very beginning, Milla Jovovich, not really much to her. She has a wedding ring that she looks at every now and then and she kisses, but nothing's ever, it's never elaborated on. And I know, I just said I didn't go into this movie expecting characters. It would have been better if they didn't try to give anyone characterization, because that's not what this movie needs to be. So the reason that is still a criticism for me is because they did try to characterize and get you to care about these people. And you don't really, because there just isn't much elaboration. And I want it to be known, I'm getting my, legit negative criticisms out of the way first. In true Paul W.S. Anderson form, the film is directed very jarringly. There's a lot of really quick zoom-ins and, very, very cheesy, quick shaky zooms into people's faces when they're, trying to be really serious. That's another thing. This film it tries to take itself really seriously at certain moments, but then, the film as a whole is so ridiculous that it's not, I don't know, it's, like I said, this is a hard movie to review. Essentially, baseline criticisms, they shouldn't have tried to characterize the people as much, and if they are going to do that, elaborate on it a little more. The editing is also very abrupt and very jarring. There's many The scenes with the monsters are actually really entertaining, and I enjoyed most of the sequences, like the monster battle sequences. But there are some melee combat sequences between human characters, and it's exactly what you expected. It's from Paul Anderson. It's shaky cam, quick zooms, and quick cut. You can't really tell what's going on. And I just can't look at things like that. Like, it makes me motion sick. However, as I said, the sequences with the monsters are actually pretty impressive. The special effects are actually, like, pretty great. Like, amazing. And I really enjoyed a lot of the designs for the monsters in this film, too. The film is very entertaining throughout. It never really got slow for me. There's, like, one portion, like, right after they get into the alternate world with all the monsters, where it kind of slows down a little bit, but it does pick back up. I don't know, I mean, it's just a fun movie. You know, that's all I wanted. I just wanted a very fun movie. I actually put on Twitter and Instagram right before I saw it. I just want a mindless experience. Give me Mila Jovovich, give me monsters, give me action and good VFX. That's all I want. And you know what? I got that. Where the film falters is where it actually tries to be like a film. You know, I just didn't feel any of those moments. And so really the only reason the action sequences were so thrilling was because the monster sequences, they look very cool. You know, the monsters look real. The environment is cool to look at. And that's why that's why those sequences were thrilling. For some reason, those sequences were much better directed than the hand-to-hand fighting between the humans. Now, despite the film being pretty poorly directed for the most part and edited, there is, you know, some sequences that are, you know, very well helmed in my opinion. There's some really cool cinematography. There's a scene that takes place underground with like these giant spider-like monsters who live in this really dark, like black web that I thought looked really cool. There's a scene where Mila Jovovich is down there walking through one of these black web tunnels, and it shows a shot from the outside, and you can see the red light, because she's holding a flare. You can see the red light of the flare, like, glistening along the shiny edges of the web. Really good shot. There is some very good cinematography in this movie. It would just help if the shot stayed on screen for longer. Also, there's actually some pretty cool gross out moments in the movie too. There's a scene where this guy has like monster eggs on him and like they hatch and these spiders start crawling all over him. It was really gross out moment, and the practical effects were actually pretty good too. There were aspects of the film that felt kind of like a horror movie, and like I said, I really did like the design of a lot of these creatures. Surprisingly though, the best aspect of this film, I actually thought, was the score. This is one of those rare cases where I think the score is actually better than the entire film itself. To give you references, it sounded like a combination of the scores from Stranger Things, Mad Max Fury Road, and Good Time. Yeah, very weird combination, but put all that together and you have the score from Monster Hunter, and I actually thought it was fantastic. When we got home from the theater, because yes, I did see this in the theater. When we got home from the theater, I actually immediately went on my phone, went to Apple Music, and downloaded that score, because it actually is, like, amazing. I want to see what else this composer does. I hope he starts composing. I want to see him compose for, like, a legit, really good, deep action film that's truly riveting and you know you care about the people, because I think people do too often forget just how like pivotal the score is to getting you to feel emotion. Also, in true video game movie fashion, characters survive things in this movie that they would never survive in real life, but that's just a staple of video game movies. So yeah guys, I mean, Monster Hunter. What did you expect it to be? What did you actually want from Monster Hunter? Do not see this film if you're looking for a really, you know, deep and complex action film with, like, very poignant themes. Don't watch this movie for that, because that's not what this movie's gonna give you. All in all, the movie gave me what I wanted. You know, it gave me cool-looking monsters, very good VFX, Mila Jovovich kicking butt, like, what else did you want? That's all I wanted. So I am now going to grade Monster Hunter. I am going to give Monster Hunter a C. If I was grading this as like a film, like from an actual critical perspective, this movie would probably get a D minus. But I just couldn't help but have a blast. Like, I had a blast watching it. However, I am very interested in checking out the games, because I actually heard from some people who have played the games and then saw this film that this film is like nothing like the games. None of these characters are in the games. Even the setting isn't what was in the games. So I actually do want to play the games now. Thanks so much for watching, guys. It really does mean a lot. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, keep writing, keep shooting, and keep editing.